Hello, I'm Martin Dorey and you're watching Adorama TV. Thanks for joining me again today for my series about photographers working at the extreme. Today I'm meeting Alastair Scarlett, who is a freediving photographer who is capturing some quite incredible underwater photographs. So you're using 20mm lens on there?
Yeah, that's
fixed?
right. Yeah, fixed 20mm 1.8, which is really good at low light, which is obviously what we need when we're underwater.
So tell me about, when you are underwater, how quickly do you lose the light deeper you go? How does it work?
Yeah, so every 10 meters, you're losing about 50% of light. So it rapidly decreases as you go deeper.
Right, okay, but when you're down to 20 meters, you're operating in what, a quarter of the light at the surface, something like that?
Yeah.
So you need a fast lens and high ISO.
Yeah, and also the colour spectrum changes as well. You lose red, for instance, at 10 meters.
Yeah.
And that's where the strobes come in, really. They're really to bring back some colour into your shots.
And would you ever use filters, or would you filter afterwards?
No, there's in a pool possibly, but in the sea there's just too many variables. It's something I do back at home.
Right, okay. Fascinating, brilliant. So the shots that we're talking about, where were they taken and why were they taken there? And what's so good about the conditions there?
Yeah, each year we go to Gozo because it's really good visibility there. Blue waters, it's quite warm, topography's insane out there, and you have a few wrecks which we can reach as freedivers.
You're shooting freedivers, but you're freediving yourself. So tell me about the difficulties of working like that.
Obviously underwater you can't communicate to each other, so you'd have a chat on the surface before you go down. Going deep is quite hard, and you need to all be in sync to get down to, say, 18 meters to do the shot.
The shot with the guy with the flag on the boat, with Ian, what kind of process did you have to go through to get that shot?
Yeah, this shot I'd thought about back here at home. I had the Cornish flag, and it was, Cornish group going out to Malta, so I thought it'd be quite cool to get on the bow of the ship and wave it around. So when we got there, it's all a bit hectic, and we've got it all together quite quickly, and you have that 1 minute or so to do the shot.
Tell us about the rig, because obviously this is something pretty special.
When you're buying a rig like this, you have the choice of a full frame sensor or a crop sensor. Crop sensor is probably the sensible way to go because you've got a smaller rig, it's a bit lighter, might be a little bit cheaper, but I think I'm after that one big shot where it's really good, detailed, something I can blow up as big as possible.
What's the camera you're using inside, and how much control does the rig give you?
Okay, I'm using a Nikon D810, and I have absolutely full control of all the buttons.
So absolutely anything. So you could go to any setting you want to at any point.
Yeah.
How easy is it to swim with it? I mean, how easy is it to use? What happens?
Okay, well, out of the water, this is like 8 kilos of metal. It's horrible to carry around, but in the water, it's neutrally buoyant. Swimming with it, yeah, obviously hydrodynamically, it's a little bit like a brake, I guess. But on the other hand, if I'm thinking about the camera, I'm not worrying about holding my breath or running out or getting too deep or anything like that. So I think it actually helps my freediving a little bit, to be honest.
Why freedive and not scuba dive?
Okay, I think as a scuba diver, it's a lot more advantageous to take macro shots because you've got the time, you can set up your scene, you can adjust your strobes. As a freediver, you don't have that much time. So for me, it's about the big shots. We're looking at a bit of scenery, it's wide angle, looking up, we get topography going on, and for me, getting a diver in there, so it's all as one, it's really interesting.
And do you have to have any qualifications to freedive?
Yeah, so I've been freediving for 4 years under the ADA governing body. Initially, it's a very fast progression, which makes it addictive, because in a weekend, suddenly you're holding your breath for 3.5 minutes. You're diving down to 15 meters kind of thing, and it's like, wow, this is incredible. And then it's a little bit slower progression to get a bit further on and get a bit deeper. And and hold your breath for longer.
So you've got a team?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what would be your typical team?
So when we travel on a free dive holiday, I'm not allowed to say holiday, you'd have a set of instructors with you. So if I was going to do a certain shot, we'd have them in the background, just keeping an eye on us, because things can go wrong very quickly underwater.
So that's the scuba diver safety?
No, it's all free diving.
All free diving.
Because scuba divers, they can't come to the surface quickly, so you have to have a free diver to come up at the same speed as you.
How many shots have you got in your mind before you actually do them?
Since a kid, actually, I've always been looking at other people's images. I'll be sitting in the library when I'm supposed to be doing a dissertation, just scouring over images. So it's the same. I'll be on the internet, I'll be on Instagram, I'll be on, Googling wreck images of freediving stuff, and just getting a sort of rough idea of what's out there, and go, oh, that'd be cool to try out something similar. And then when you're in the water, obviously stuff happens as well, but it's nice to go in with something in your head, otherwise you're just like snapping away at anything, and you throw all your images away at the end of the day.
Thanks for joining me on Adorama TV today. If you want to see more of Alastair's work, go to alscarlett.com. Meanwhile, for more great hints and tips, go to the Adorama Learning Centre. And for more great videos, don't forget to subscribe to Adorama TV. Finally, please like, comment or share. See you next time.